So I wanted to start off with these trolleys both folded down, and as you can see, the PowaKaddy folds down a little bit flatter and a little bit lower than what I'm seeing out of the Motocaddy. However, what I really like about the Motocaddy is that front wheel tucks up underneath there. So front to back, the Motocaddy just looking a little bit smaller. Front to back with the PowaKaddy, maybe just a little bit longer. The other thing that's great about these particular trolleys is both of them, you can take the wheels off the back, turn them round and bring them in, which again makes them even smaller again. But from a weight point of view, there is a slight difference. Not that I can feel it hugely when I'm picking them both up because they're both quite heavy, but we've got 14 kilograms in the PowaKaddy compared to 14.9 kilograms in the Motocaddy. Now that is something for you to consider when you're getting it in and out of your boot. So the PowaKaddy just probably winning that one just fractionally. However, I want to put these trolleys up now into their playing position. So let's see how long that takes me. So there we have it. The trolleys are now in the playing position. And if I come and have a little look down here, I can see that the PowaKaddy is slightly lower than what I'm seeing out of the Motocaddy. Now the PowaKaddy had one step mechanism to get it into position, whereas Motocaddy I needed 2 steps, but when it comes to that top handle, I can adjust it. I can move that into a position to go slightly lower or slightly higher depending on my height and what's going to work best for me. So with that in mind, and you think about all the different heights of players that we've got out there playing golf, I think the Motocaddy just has that little win on this particular setup. Style and looks then when it comes to these two trolleys. The first thing you're going to notice is that we've got a single frame when it comes to the Motocaddy, whereas we've got a double frame when it comes to the PowaKaddy. Now you would think that maybe the double frame would be a little bit more sturdy. However, I've got to say, I've had them both on the golf course and I'm feeling pretty solid with both of them, to be fair. Not seeing one has an advantage over the other from that side of it. The one thing that I do like when it comes to the battery side of things is that they're both a click and connect and a plug and play. So they're both similar in their performance from that point of view. You can fold them both away with the batteries in, but a little bit of a win from Motocaddy is that you can charge the battery whilst it's still in its cradle, which I do think is a little bit of an added bonus. However, if we work our way around now, they both come with a locking system for the bags, which I think is a really good thing, because having the strap at the bottom to hold the bag into position is great, but ultimately getting up and down and moving the strap around can have an effect on your back. So I like the fact that we've got easy lock system when it comes to Motocaddy, and what's going to happen is the bag is just going to clip in at the bottom there and then it's nice and secure. Whereas when you come round to the PowaKaddy, we've got the mag lock, which again slightly different in the way in which it deals with like Motocaddy, but it does the same thing. It locks the bag into position and then it's nice and sturdy in there, and once it's in, it's locked in, and they both work really well on the golf course, keeping them once again nice and sturdy. So moving into the GPS units on both of these trolleys, PowaKaddy having the option of the RX-7 that we've got here today, but they've also got an RX-12 which has a slightly bigger screen. Now what's interesting about this particular screen is it's more of a kind of portrait look, a bit like what you would look at with your phone. And we've got all those things like you've got your hazards, you can pinch in and see the green itself and kind of put your pin to where you need it. All the things that you come to expect from a GPS unit. Whereas over on the Motocaddy, they've really stepped it up in this one, I feel personally. A little bit different in its look, being a little bit more square or a little bit more landscaping compared to what I'm seeing out of the PowaKaddy. But what I love about this particular one, and the winner for me when it comes to these two units, is I play lots of different golf courses, and many of you will. This one's got a fantastic flyover, so you can get onto your hole, and if you get a bit of a blind hole and you don't really know where you're going, you can press that flyover and it takes you all the way around that particular hole, giving you a few of those lines. So that's probably where I'm going to head when it comes to the actual GPS unit, but all in all, to be honest with you, they're both pretty special. The remote control then. PowaKaddy slipped in underneath there, whereas Motocaddy sits on top. Both pretty much the same size and fit nicely into the palm of your hand, and they're both chargeable, which is great. But let's get them onto the golf course and see how they perform. Right, Motocaddy to get us going with. I'm gonna say smooth is when I'm working around the golf course with the Motocaddy. As you can see there, the thing I do like and what they've really worked on is there's no churning up when it comes to these turning on the spot, which is really, really good considering we've got a little bit of grip on these wheels. But this one really, really smooth. Obviously it's continuing on its own without me pressing a button, but if I want to stop it, it's the middle button, and then I have to hold the back button to bring it back to me just for a little bit of control. I take my hand off there and bang, it stops and it's into park mode, so it's not going to roll away anywhere. Let's bring in the PowaKaddy. Not quite as smooth as what I've seen from the Motocaddy. Just a little bit more jolting going on with this particular one, but what I would say is it's probably a fraction more responsive than what I saw out of the Motocaddy. So you would say that there's a potential negative in the fact that it's a little bit, well, less smooth. However, being more responsive means that I can stop it on a dime really, really quickly. Just like we're seeing out of the Motocaddy, I can press the forward and it will go forward on its own. However, middle button to stop it, but to bring it back, I have to hold the back button again, all the way down, and then take my finger off, and then it stops perfectly. So maybe slightly smoother out of the Motocaddy, but a little bit more responsive out of the PowaKaddy. So there you have it, two of probably the most impressive trolleys that I have had the opportunity of testing. And it's literally like having your own caddy on the golf course. You can be wandering down the fairways, chatting with your friends, thinking about course management, and your trolley's doing all the work for you. Now remember, both of these trolleys are available in your pro shop, so go and have a conversation with your foremost professional team and see which one is going to work best for your game this year.